A scream tore through the expensive house in Victoria Island, Lagos. The smell of burning skin filled the air. A woman in a red designer dress stood frozen, holding an empty silver kettle. On the floor, an old mother wrapped in a wrapper cloth cried softly, her arm red and blistering from hot water. The door flew open so hard, it hit the wall. A tall man in a black suit stopped breathing. His briefcase fell from his hand and crashed on the marble floor. Emeka couldn't believe his eyes. His wife Zainab was standing over his mother. Steam was still rising from the kettle in her hand. "Zainab!" His voice came out like broken glass. "What did you do to my mother?" The kettle dropped. It rolled across the shiny floor, making a terrible sound. Mama Adana looked up at her son. Her eyes were not angry, they were sad, so sad. Like a mother watching her child walk into fire, and she cannot stop him. Sometimes we climb so high we forget the people who lifted us. But life has a way of bringing us back down to see the truth. You are watching African Tales, where every story teaches us about love, pain, and second chances. Comment where you're watching from: Lagos, Accra, London, Nairobi, New York. Type "thank you ma" to honor the woman who gave you everything. 15 years before that terrible day, life was very different. In the crowded streets of Ajegunle, where houses pressed together like people in a Danfo bus, Mama Adana woke up every morning at 3 o'clock. The roosters were still sleeping. The moon was still in the sky, but she was already walking to the market. She sold vegetables, tomatoes, peppers, onions. Her hands were rough and cracked like old leather, her back bent like a hook from carrying heavy loads, but her smile never died. Every kobo she made, she saved. Every naira she earned, she kept in an old tin under her mat. "Mama, why do you work so hard?" Young Emeka would ask, watching her count coins by candlelight. She would touch his face with her rough hands. "My son, education is the key that opens every door. I am giving you that key." When other children played football in the muddy streets, Emeka studied under the street lights. When other mothers bought new wrappers and jewelry, Mama Adana wore the same 3 clothes for 5 years. She ate once a day so Emeka could eat 3 times. She walked in the rain so Emeka could take a bus to school. The day Emeka got his scholarship to study computer science, the whole of Ajegunle danced. Drums played, people sang. Mama Adana cried so much that her wrapper was soaking wet. "Go, my son," she whispered. "Fly high, but never forget where your wings came from." 10 years passed like the wind. Emeka built a company that helped people send money through their phones. He made his first £1,000,000, then 10 million, then 100 million. By the time he was 35, newspapers called him the youngest billionaire in West Africa. He bought a penthouse that touched the clouds. He drove cars that cost more than his mother's vegetable store made in 20 years. But every month, he sent money home. Every holiday, he visited Ajegunle. "I will never forget Mama," he promised. Then came Zainab. She walked into a charity dinner wearing a silver dress that sparkled like stars. Her perfume smelled expensive. Her laugh sounded like music from a piano. She was a lawyer from a rich family in Abuja. Her father owned oil wells. Her mother owned hotels. "You're the tech billionaire everyone talks about," she said, shaking his hand with long painted nails. "And you're the most beautiful woman I've ever seen," Emeka replied. 6 months later, they got married in Dubai. The wedding cost $5 million. Celebrities came. Politicians came. The cake was taller than a person. Champagne flowed like river water. But when Emeka brought Zainab to meet Mama Adana in Ajegunle, something felt wrong. Zainab smiled, but her eyes were cold. She hugged Mama Adana, but she stood far away. When Mama cooked her special jollof rice, Zainab barely ate. "The spices are too much for my stomach," she said politely. Emeka laughed. "You get used to it." But Zainab never did. When Mama Adana moved into their mansion after she fell and hurt her hip, Zainab's smile disappeared completely. "Does she have to stay in the main house?" she asked Emeka. Her medicine smells so strong, and those herbal drinks she makes, they stink up the whole floor. She's my mother, Emeka said quietly. This is her home too. Fine, Zainab said, but she stays in the guest wing, far from our bedroom. Slowly, like sugar dissolving in hot tea, Zainab's true feelings came out. When Mama Adana ate with her hands like she always did, Zainab whispered to the housemaid loud enough for everyone to hear. Some people never learn table manners. When Mama Adana sang old Igbo songs while cooking, Zainab complained, "Can someone tell her this is not a village?" Emeka traveled more and more for business. He didn't want to see the problem growing in his own house. He closed his eyes and hoped it would get better. But problems don't get better when you close your eyes. They grow bigger in the dark. That afternoon, Emeka came home early from London. His meeting finished fast, and his heart told him, "Go home. Go home now. Something is wrong." The house was too quiet. Usually, the television played Nollywood movies in Mama's room. Usually, she hummed while making her evening tea. But today, nothing. Just silence heavy like a wet blanket. He heard something, a small sound, like someone crying, but trying not to cry. It came from the guest wing. His feet moved fast, his heart beat faster. He pushed open his mother's door and the world stopped moving. Steam filled the air. The smell of burnt flesh mixed with Zainab's expensive perfume. Mama Adana sat on the floor, holding her arm, tears rolling down her face without sound. Her skin was red and peeling. Blisters were already forming like small balloons filled with water. Zainab stood there frozen, the empty kettle in her hand. Her mouth open like she wanted to scream but forgot how. "What have you done?" Emeka's voice didn't sound like his own voice. It sounded like something breaking inside him. She called me a gold digger." Zainab screamed suddenly, her face twisting. In front of Rose, in front of the gate man, in front of everyone. "She said I married you for money. She said I'm not good enough to be your wife." "So you poured boiling water on her?" Emeka moved toward his mother, his hands shaking. "You tried to kill my mother?" "It was an accident. I just wanted to scare her. I didn't mean—" "Get out." His voice was ice now, cold and sharp. "Get out of this room before I do something I regret." He lifted his mother so gently, like she was made of glass. Her body trembled against his chest. "I'm sorry, Mama," he whispered. "This is all my fault. I brought this woman into your life. I'm so sorry." Mama Adana touched his face with her good hand. Even in her pain, she tried to comfort him. "My son," she whispered, "don't let anger eat your heart. Don't go anywhere. What happens next will shock you. Will he call the police? Will he divorce his wife? Will his mother survive? Keep watching, because what this billionaire does next, nobody in Lagos expected. Like this video if you believe a mother's love is the strongest force on earth. Share it with someone who needs to hear this story. Subscribe to African Tales Bite so you don't miss what happens next. At Street Nicholas Hospital, the doctor wrapped Mama Adana's burns in white bandages. "She will heal," the doctor said, "but the scars will stay forever. And the pain in her heart, only God can heal that." Emeka sat beside his mother's bed all night. He didn't eat. He didn't sleep. He just held her hand, the one that wasn't burned, and cried quietly. She woke up when the sun was rising. The room glowed orange and gold. She looked at her son's face and saw that he hadn't slept. "Emeka," she said softly. "Yes, Mama?" "You must forgive her." He pulled his hand away like her words burnt him. "Forgive her? Mama, she tried to kill you." "She is sick, my son. Sick in her heart and mind. Hate is a disease. If you catch it from her, then she has killed 2 people, not just hurt one." "I can't, Mama. I can't forgive this." She smiled, even though smiling hurt. "I'm not asking you to forget. I'm asking you not to become like her. Don't let this fire burn inside you the way that water burned my skin." He put his head on her bed and cried like he was a little boy again. She touched his hair with her good hand, the way she did when he was 5 years old and scared of thunder. Outside the hospital room, Emeka's lawyer was waiting. Boss, should I call the police? We have everything on a security camera. She will go to jail for 20 years. Emeka looked at his mother. She was sleeping now, her face peaceful even with all the bandages. He remembered her waking up at 3 in the morning to sell vegetables. He remembered her walking in the rain so he could take a bus. He remembered her teaching him, the strongest people are not those who fight back. The strongest people are those who choose mercy when they have the power to destroy. No, he said finally. Don't call the police. Not yet. I have a different plan. His lawyer looked confused. Sir? Call everyone. My family, her family, the church elders, everyone. Tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock, we're going to do something different. That night, Emeka sat in his office watching the security videos from the past 6 months. What he saw made him understand everything, and it made his decision even harder. Where are you watching from? Comment your city. Have you ever had to choose between revenge and mercy? Type forgive or punish in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe because the next part will change how you see everything. The next morning, Emeka's living room was packed with people. Zainab sat in the corner, her eyes red from crying. Her parents sat stiff and angry on one side. Emeka's brothers and sisters sat on the other side, their faces hard like stone. The church elders sat in the middle, quiet and watching. Everyone expected Emeka to explode, to shout, to call the police, to destroy Zainab's life the way she tried to destroy his mother. But Emeka stood up calmly. He held the remote control in his hand. I want everyone to watch something, he said. He pressed play. The big television screen lit up with security footage. Everyone watched in silence. The first video showed Zainab alone in the kitchen 3 months ago, crying, talking to herself. I'm not good enough. I'll never be enough for this family. They all laugh at me. The poor girl from Ajegunle is more respected than me. The second video showed Mama Adana trying to teach Zainab how to make egusi soup. Zainab's hands were shaking. She cut her finger. Mama Adana laughed gently and said, It's okay, my daughter. You will learn. But Zainab heard it as mockery. Her face changed. She walked away without speaking. The third video showed the day of the boiling water. Mama Adana was folding clothes. She was singing softly. Zainab walked in and said, Mama, Emeka's first girlfriend was so kind and humble. She used to cook for the whole family. Mama Adana smiled. Yes, she was a good girl, but my son chose you. You must have something special. But Zainab's face twisted. In her mind, those words meant, you're not as good as the first girlfriend. Her hands started shaking. She went to the kitchen. She boiled water. And she came back. When the video stopped, the room was silent. Nobody moved. Nobody breathed. Zainab was crying so hard, her whole body shook. I'm sorry, she sobbed. I'm so sorry. I don't know what's wrong with me. I hear things nobody says. I feel things nobody means. My head is so loud all the time. I'm so tired of being me. Emeka's sister stood up angry. So what? She's crazy? That doesn't change what she did. She burned our mother. You're right, Emeka said quietly. It doesn't change anything, but it explains something and it helps me make my decision. Everyone leaned forward. I'm not calling the police, Emeka said. Zainab's parents looked relieved. His family looked shocked and angry. But, Emeka continued, his voice strong, I'm not letting this go either. Zainab, stand up. She stood, shaking like a leaf in the wind. This is what will happen. You will move out today. I'm giving you a small apartment in Surulere, not Victoria Island, not Ikoyi, Surulere. You will learn to live simply. She nodded, tears falling. You will see a doctor tomorrow, a psychiatrist. You will go to therapy 3 times every week for 1 year. No excuses, no breaks. Yes, she whispered. You will volunteer at the burn unit in Ibobi Hospital. 40 hours every month. You will see what you did to my mother in the faces of other people. Her knees almost gave out, but she stayed standing. You will also volunteer at the old people's home in Ajegunle, the same Ajegunle you looked down on. You will wash old women who cannot wash themselves. You will feed old men who cannot feed themselves. You will learn what service means. Zainab's mother tried to speak. This is too much. Emeka raised his hand. I'm not finished. You will write a letter of apology and read it in church in front of everyone. You will take your trust fund money and create a scholarship for widows' children. Not from my money, from yours. He walked closer to her. And every week, you will come to this house and watch me take care of my mother. You will see what real love looks like, not the love that performs. Not the love that expects praise. The love that serves even when nobody is watching. His voice got softer. After 1 year, we will meet again. All of us, in this room. If you have changed, if you have become someone who can love instead of hurt, we will talk about saving this marriage. If not, I will divorce you and everyone will know why. He looked into her eyes. My mother asked me to forgive you. I can't, not yet, but I can give you something she gave me my whole life. A chance, one chance to become better. What you do with it is your choice. The room was silent for a long time. Finally, the oldest church elder stood up. This is wisdom, he said. This is justice mixed with mercy. This is the old way, the way of our ancestors. Zainab fell to her knees. I don't deserve this, she cried. No, Emeka agreed. You don't. But my mother didn't deserve to be burnt either. Yet here we are. Life is not about what we deserve. It's about what we choose to do when we have power. If you're still watching, comment Mercy Wins. If this story touched your heart, share it with someone who needs to remember that even the worst mistakes can become lessons. Subscribe to African Tales Bites because the ending will surprise you even more. 6 months passed, like water flowing down a river. Mama Adana's burns healed slowly. The skin grew back pink and shiny, different from her other skin, but whole again. The pain in her body got better. The pain in her heart took longer. Emeka built a new elder care center in Ajegunle and named it after his mother. It had bright walls, clean beds, and nurses who smiled. Old women who had no family came there to live. Old men who were forgotten came there to find peace. Every Saturday morning, Emeka brought his mother there. She sat with the other old women, teaching them how to sew, how to make soap, how to laugh again. And every Saturday morning, Zainab came too. At first, she came late and left early. She wore a cap to hide her face. She barely spoke. She cleaned floors with her expensive manicured hands. She fed old people who sometimes threw food at her. She cried in the bathroom when nobody could see. But slowly, something changed. She started coming early. She started staying late. She learned the old people's names. She remembered what they liked to eat. She sang with them when they sang old songs. One Saturday, Mama Adana was struggling to thread a needle. Her fingers were still stiff from the burns. She tried 3 times. 4 times, the thread wouldn't go through. A hand reached out. A younger hand. A hand with nails that were no longer painted. Zainab's hand. Mama, she said softly, may I help you? The room went quiet. Everyone stopped what they were doing. They all knew the story. Everyone in Lagos knew the story. Mama Adana looked at the girl who burned her. She looked at her for a long time. Emeka watched from the doorway, his heart beating fast. Then Mama Adana smiled. Not a big smile, just a small one. Gentle like morning light. Yes, my daughter, she said. The thread is in that basket. Zainab sat down beside her. Her hands were shaking as she picked up the thread. She tried once, missed. Tried again, missed. Her eyes filled with tears. Slowly, Mama Adana said, "Take your time. Nobody is rushing you." The thread went through on the third try. Zainab let out a breath she didn't know she was holding. "Thank you, Mama," she whispered. Mama Adana took the needle and started sewing. After a moment, she said, "Zainab." "Yes, Mama?" "Do you know why I asked you to thread this needle?" "No, Mama." "Because healing is like threading a needle. You cannot force it. You cannot rush it. You must be patient. You must have steady hands. And sometimes, you need to try many times before you succeed." Zainab's tears fell onto the table. "Mama, I'm so sorry. Every day I wake up and I see your face. I see what I did. I don't know how you can even look at me." Mama Adana put down her sewing. She turned to look at Zainab fully. "My child, I look at you and I don't see the woman who burns me. I see the woman who is learning to heal. That is harder than what you did. Hurting takes one moment. Healing takes a lifetime." She touched Zainab's hand gently, carefully, with her scarred fingers. "You are doing the work. That is what matters." Outside, Emeka leaned against the wall and cried. For the first time in 6 months, there were no tears of anger. They were tears of hope. 1 year after that terrible day, everyone gathered in Emeka's living room again. Same people, same seats, but everything felt different. Zainab stood in the middle. She looked different too. Her hair was natural now, no expensive wig. Her dress was simple, with no designer label. Her face was clean, no heavy makeup. But her eyes were the biggest change. They were clear, peaceful, like someone who finally found rest after running for years. "I wrote this letter 1 year ago," she began, her voice steady. "I've read it in church. I've read it to the old people at the care center, but I never read it to the people in this room." She unfolded the paper. Her hands didn't shake. "Dear Mama Adana, I poured boiling water on you because I was drowning in boiling feelings inside me. Jealousy, insecurity, fear, self-hate. I thought if I hurt you, those feelings would go away. But they didn't. They got worse." She looked up at Mama Adana. "For 1 year, I have worked at the hospital. I have seen people with burns worse than yours. Children who will be scarred forever. Men who lost their faces in accidents. Women who were attacked by wicked people. Every day, I see what pain looks like. And every day, I thank God you didn't die." Her voice broke, but she continued. "I also learned something. The people with the worst scars are not always the ones you can see. I had invisible scars all over my soul. My therapist helped me see them. My childhood, my family pressure, my fear of never being enough. None of that excuses what I did. Nothing excuses it. But it helps me understand the sick person I was." She folded the letter. "I don't know if I deserve forgiveness. I don't know if I deserve a second chance with this family. But I know this. I am not the same woman who held that kettle. That woman died in her shame. I am new. I am learning. And whether you accept me or not, I will spend the rest of my life making sure no other woman becomes what I was." The room was silent. Emeka's sister stood up. She was angrier before. "I watched you, you know," she said. "Every Saturday, I came to the care center and watched from my car. I wanted to catch you pretending. I wanted to see you being fake." Zainab nodded. "I know, I saw you. But you never stopped coming. Even when nobody was looking, you were there. Even when Mama was sick and didn't come, you still came. You took care of the other old women like they were your own mothers." She walked to Zainab. "I'm still angry. What you did still makes me angry. But I see you're trying, really trying. That counts for something." One by one, people spoke. Some said they forgave her. Some said they needed more time. Some said they could be family again. Some said they couldn't. Not yet. Finally, Emeka stood up. Everyone went quiet. Zainab, he said, I've been watching you too, not from a car. From my heart, I've watched you become someone I didn't know existed inside you. Someone humble, someone kind, someone who serves others. He walked to her. I'm not ready to be your husband again. Not yet. That will take more time. Maybe years. Maybe forever. I don't know. Her face fell, but she nodded. But, he continued, I'm ready to be your friend. I'm ready to support you as you continue to heal. I'm ready to work with you at the care center, not as husband and wife, but as two people trying to make the world a little better. He extended his hand. Thank you for becoming someone my mother can sit with. That's more than I expected. That's more than most people could do. She took his hand and shook it, tears streaming down her face. Then Mama Adana stood up. Everyone turned to look at her. She was the only one who hadn't spoken yet. She walked slowly to Zainab with her cane. Emeka moved to help her, but she waved him away. This was something she needed to do alone. She stood in front of Zainab. They were eye to eye. The victim and the one who hurt her, both with scars, both with tears. My daughter, Mama Adana said, when you poured that water on me, I thought I would die hating you. But hatred is heavy. Forgiveness is what made me light again. She opened her arms. Come here. Zainab hesitated, not believing. Mama, I don't deserve. None of us deserves God's grace, but He gives it anyway. Come here. Zainab fell into Mama Adana's arms. They held each other and cried. The old woman who was burned and the young woman who burned her. Both healing, both were whole in ways they weren't before. The room erupted in tears. Even Emeka's angry sister was crying. Even Zainab's proud mother was crying. Even the church elders were wiping their eyes. 5 years later, the Adana Elder Care Center had grown to 3 branches. One in Ajegunle, one in Surulere, one in Abuja. Zainab ran them all. She never remarried Emeka. They stayed friends, working together, but never lovers again. Some things, once broken, become something new instead of going back to what they were. But Zainab became the daughter Mama Dana never had. She moved to a small house near Mama's, and every morning she came to have tea and bread. They laughed together, they sewed together, they helped other old women together. One evening, as the sun set orange and gold over Lagos, Mama Adana and Zainab sat on the porch of the care center. Old women were singing inside. Children were playing in the yard. The smell of jollof rice floated from the kitchen. Mama, Zainab said, do you ever think about that day? The day I hurt you? Mama Adana smiled. Sometimes, but not the way you think. I don't remember the pain. I remember what came after. I remember watching you break. I remember watching you rebuild. I remember learning that the strongest buildings are the ones that fall and get built back up, because the builders know where the weak places are. She touched the scars on her arm. They were faint now, just lighter patches of skin. These scars remind me that hurt can be healed, that enemies can become daughters, that boiling water can burn, but the human spirit can grow back stronger. Zainab took Mama's scarred hand and kissed it gently. Thank you for not giving up on me when I gave up on myself. That's what mothers do, Mama Dana said. We see the person you're becoming, not just the person you are. From inside, Emeka called out, Mama, Zainab, food is ready. They stood up, these 2 women, linked by pain and healing, by fire and water, by death and rebirth. They walked inside together, arm in arm, into the golden light of evening. Behind them, the sun set over Lagos. The sky turned purple and pink and orange. Somewhere in the city, another mother was sacrificing for her child. Another person was choosing between revenge and mercy. Another soul was learning that the hottest fires can either destroy us or refine us into gold. This is the end of our story. But it's not just a story, it's a lesson. Pain is real, mistakes are real, but so is forgiveness, so is change, so is hope. If this story touched your heart, write thank you, mama in the comments. Thank your mother. Thank the woman who raised you. Thank the woman who sacrificed for you. Life is short. Don't wait to say it. Where are you watching from? Lagos, London, New York, Nairobi, Johannesburg. Comment on your city and let's see how far this message travels. Subscribe to Tales by Names for more true stories about love, pain, healing, and hope. Share this video with someone who needs to remember that nobody is beyond saving. Nobody is beyond change. Nobody is beyond grace. Remember, when life pours boiling water on you, you can either let it scar you with bitterness or you can let it teach you to be gentle with others who are burned. The choice is always yours. May you always choose mercy. May you always choose healing. May you always choose love. Thank you for watching. Until next time, keep your heart soft and your spirit strong.